haven't really thought about it strategically or put a plan together on how this was all going to go. I mean, I had an idea, obviously, that's why it started, but like a lot of my ideas, I don't necessarily plan them out very far ahead before I begin. And it's weird because I'm someone who, if for example my girlfriend or family member or friend would come to me and ask me, "What do you think of this idea?" I'm very, I wouldn't say critical, but methodical maybe. Like I would break it down and I'd be like, "Have you thought about this? And what about if this happened? And what about that?" But if it's my idea, if it's something that I've come up with, and if someone says, "Have you thought about it?" It's like, yeah, of course I've thought about it. I've thought about it for like a whole 20 seconds. And it's a great fucking idea, so I'm doing it. Like I don't plan too far ahead. And sometimes that's been my downfall, sometimes it hasn't. Sometimes it's been what's the word? Sometimes it's been my downfall, sometimes it's been my upfall. Well, that's a word now, by the way, upfall. And so I just thought I'd come on here now and just talk about kind of where I am right now, what's been happening in my life, where I am mentally, and what's to come. Probably start with the most recent, I'll say most recent, maybe one of the bigger sort of shifts at the moment in my schedule, in my life, is that I had my last therapy session a few weeks ago. Yeah, maybe about 2 weeks ago now. Well, I don't know when this is going to be released. I'm recording this, by the way, on the what date is it? The 5th. Is it the 5th? The 5th of February. So we'll see how long this takes to go out. So yeah, I had my last therapy session recently, and yeah, it's a mad feeling because it's been such a big part of my life for the last year or so. Every week, going to the therapist and speaking with him and sort of figuring out where I am at the moment in my life and what's going on with me, and to now have that sort of not taken away from me. It's not like it's been ripped away from me, but yeah, to now have that stopped. It feels like I'm now out into the world again on my own. Obviously, I know I've got my support network with me here, and I've got my girlfriend, I've got some close friends, and I've always got my family on the phone if I need to speak with them. But that was someone who didn't really have a dog in the fight or had a non-biased or agenda towards anything. He was just there to listen to me and figure out what's going on inside of me and how I can move forward and give me the tools to be able to do that. And now I don't have that space where I can go and vent, or if I'm having a bad week or a bad couple of days, I know the next week I can go and talk about it, and I don't have that now. So a lot of it is for me to emotionally mature, I suppose, if you want to call it that, and I'm by myself now with it. And I have to figure out how I'm going to navigate my life moving forward with the tools that I've now been given, which I know isn't going to be easy, especially for someone like myself who at times I can be quite emotional about stuff, just passionate, I call it, and go 0 to 100 quite quick. And that's always been a journey for me. And I was even navigating that and improving that before the therapy, and even whilst I was, drinking and doing whatever else I was doing, I was still working on that sort of patience and tolerance and frustration. I was very quickly frustrated as a kid and young adult, and I mean, I used to go mad if I popped a yolk in a fucking egg. Like if I was making my brekkie and I popped the yolk, when I like cracked the egg open, put it in the pan, and the fucking yolks pop, that's it, mate. That frying pan's getting frisbee. The egg's fucked. I don't want it anymore. That's it. Brekkie's done. Cameron's going back to bed. And yeah, it's mad when I think about it now how I used to react to certain situations, because I couldn't picture myself being like that anymore. I mean, there's things that test me, but I wouldn't frisbee a frying pan anymore. I've grown out of frisbeeing frying pans. Try and say that, frisbeeing frying pans. It doesn't even frisbeeing doesn't even sound like a word. So yeah, I've always had a hard time with that, and so now not having the therapy, I'm gonna have to, see how I do with my own self. I'm confident though. I feel like I've already made a lot of progress, and the help I've received has put me in good stead to now continue my life, continue my progress as a person, which is always an ongoing process. It's always a journey. It's never ending. There's always room for improvement within yourself if you look inwards enough. And yeah, we can always improve as people. And I think that's important to know. We're never a finished article. So even if, you fall back into an old habit, or if you don't succeed in whatever it is you're trying at the moment, you are going to have ups and downs. You are going to have failures. You are going to have setbacks, but you are also going to have triumphs and wins, and every part of it, every part of even your losses, and everything is part of your development. Everything that happens to you is creating you, and I think that's what we need to remember as well. And I need to remember it. I'm very good at preaching, let's say preaching, but I'm very good at talking about it and understanding it and bringing it to the forefront of my mind and passing that on to others. But I need to sort of look at my own advice when I look at myself, because I'm terrible. Like recently I've been comparing myself a lot to other people that are doing the same thing as me, and figuring out, well, what are they doing right? Because I feel like I'm, doing what they're doing. So why is it not working for me? Is there something wrong with me? Am I the problem? And, and it's unfair comparison, because the people I'm comparing myself to have been in it a lot longer, or have maybe more experience, or maybe a different niche. And, maybe our energies aren't quite the same. We're going down in a different path or a different route. And so I need to remember, I can't compare myself to metrics. I can only compare myself on how I feel about the situation, how it feels for me to continue to move forward. If I'm not enjoying it, or if it's causing me stress, or it's causing me, sadness, and bring me into some sort of a depressive state, then, it's not, I shouldn't continue doing it. But right now I am enjoying it. It's just the comparison I'm finding, and they say, I'm rambling, aren't I? I'm just rambling. And they say the comparison is the thief of joy, and that's exactly where I found myself recently. Is I've been comparing myself to others, which is then taking away the joy from what I'm doing, because now I'm just chasing numbers rather than chasing connection. And I think that's what I need to try and remember to myself, is that I'm here to connect with people. I'm here to make a difference to people's lives, and I'm not here to go viral. That was never my intention. So it's trying to keep that again forefront of my mind. And if anyone else out there can relate, if anyone else is going through the same sort of thing, then try and remember that for yourself, that, your journey is your journey, and you'll get there when you get there. And the race is only against yourself. There's no one else in it. And our timelines are all different. That's the thing as well. I've started very late, and I was too busy getting fucked off my face for so long that I didn't really see any purpose or point or rhyme or reason or rhythm to fucking anything. Apart from, having a pint and doing whatever, debauchery. But now I'm here, and this is where my second journey in life begins. And so I have to remember that I will get there when I get there, and I will get there, because you'll come with me and you're going to help me. But if anyone else is feeling like they're struggling with anything right now, comparing themselves to whatever it is, and let me know what it is that's going on in your lives right now, and we can talk about it in the comments. I think it's good to openly talk about these things with each other, and allow people into our mind, into our lives, and show support. Because what I've realized in doing this as well is that there's a lot of people out there who are willing to give you support if you ask for it, or if you continue to do good things and put yourself out there, then you will attract people to you. And I've come to this sort of motto or mantra now that, if you find your place, find your people, you'll find your peace. And that's sort of where I am at the moment. I feel like I've found my place in what I'm doing now, my purpose, my place. And now I'm starting to attract the people, and sure enough, eventually I'll have my peace, and it will all come together. And then that's what ultimately is the goal for everyone, isn't it? To find our peace, find our purpose, find our place, find our people. So stop comparing yourself to others. Compare yourself to you. If you're better than you were yesterday, or further ahead than you were yesterday, then that's a win. And you know what? Even if you fall back from what you were tomorrow, if that makes sense, then you've still learned. You would have still learned something. You might not see it now, but you'll see it in the future. There's always lessons. There's lessons in everything, but they don't necessarily always come and appear and show themselves in the beginning. Sometimes you question, why did this happen? Why did that happen to me? But there will be a reason, and that will become clear further down the line if it doesn't become clear immediately after. So always trust the fucking process. Trust the fucking process, guys. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. No, trust me. Trust the process. Trust the process. Then you got on the flip side, if you talk about the comparison, you can talk about the imposter syndrome as well. And that was another thing I was fighting with recently as well, the imposter syndrome. I felt that, I felt what I was doing with the podcast and this YouTube channel and the other sort of goals I have in my life right now. I'm thinking, am I just pretending? Like, who the fuck do I think I am? Like, I've got a YouTube channel. What are you doing? Like, you're not even a YouTuber. You're not even a podcaster. And they're the thoughts that get inside of here, and they attack you and they try and break you down. And it's your own self, It's something I read in a book I'm reading at the moment in Homeostatic Impulse, I think it's called. And that's when your brain sort of keeps you in a state of being comfortable. But anything that's outside of the norm or outside your comfort zone, your mind starts bombarding you with what ifs and is that safe, and it makes you feel uncomfortable, like mind and body. And I think that's what's happening with me right now. The more I keep progressing further and further with what I'm doing, the more these thoughts and feelings come to me, and it's it's self-doubt and it's imposter syndrome, and it's you're just pretending, and people are going to find out you're a fraud, even though there's nothing to be found out for being a fraud with, because I'm just doing what I do naturally, or what it is I want to do. Do you know what I mean? But I feel that I then question my my qualifications, or why can I speak about this? But then I've got to remember that I've lived it. You know what I mean? I might not have the degrees in your psychologies or philosophies, but I read. I try and read as much as I can. I'm not a bookworm as such, but I read and I've lived it. I know I can empathize with people. I have empathy for people who have gone through it, and I can empathize. How the fuck is that the right word? Empathize. I can empathize with people who have gone through the same thing, and I think that's where my qualifications for it come. I'm not saying I'm here to give you medical advice or doctor's opinions. I'm just giving you my thoughts or my takes based on my life and the comparisons and similarities we possibly share. I think imposter syndrome is a big one, isn't it, for people to navigate? We all have those voices in our head that we feed, or that feeds our doubt and our insecurities, and it's trying not to listen to them. But the thing, the more you fight against them, and the more you continue to achieve when your own self is telling you can't achieve, the quieter those noises get. So I feel it's important to, even if you feel like you can't, or the voice inside your head telling you can't or you shouldn't, you should. Because on the other side of fear, or the other side of those doubts, there's great things that are potentially there for you. So you should follow it is whatever you desire. And that should hopefully create some joy in your life. I'll tell you though, something that's been happening. I'll tell you though, something that's been helping me recently a lot, and something I never thought I'd be into, and that's the old meditation. I never thought meditation would be something I'd be into. And I do it every morning now. I have done now probably for about, 3 months or so now. And that has, my window of tolerance since doing meditation has greatly increased. And I believe that's through the breathwork techniques I do when I'm meditating. It just allows you that sort of moment in any sort of situation to like take that breath and just bring yourself back to center, or back to home, back to you. And I've had some really profound thoughts that have come from a meditation session as well that I've done with myself, and it's a mad experience because when I meditate, I close my eyes sink a little bit into here. I don't know if you know yourself, but they sink a bit lower here, and then I'm sitting there and I don't feel like, and then when I get so far into it, I don't feel like I'm me anymore. I don't feel like I'm anything or anyone. I'm just here, and then as everything starts to slow down and get quieter, it starts to expand inside of my mind here. The darkness expands. I don't know how to explain it. I'm probably looking mental right now explaining it and fucking doing all this, but that's how it feels. And just being in that moment is so tranquil. There's nothing. And that's one of the things I remember thinking when I came out. There is nothing. There is absolutely nothing. And that's mad to think. It's quite scary to think, but it's also very sobering. And it actually made me feel at peace. It made me feel warm. Like there's nothing. All of this there's nothing. I know I keep saying nothing, but it's all just nothing. It is whatever we want. It is whatever we want to make it. You know, we're all here just in a vessel to experience life, and we can turn it into whatever we want it to be if we believe. And to me, that was a profound thought, and also the one where I thought I was nothing. You know, I said I'm no one. I'm nothing. I'm not Cameron. And that was like, I was like, what do you mean I'm not Cameron? Who are you? I'm nothing. Like, I'm nothing. I am no one. I'm no one but everyone. We're all one. If that is, I know I sound like I'm going insane. I'm not. I promise. I don't think. Sounding like a proper insane person. I'm not insane. Is that what they would say? I don't know. You tell me. Tell me in the comments. Nah. Anyway, what was I fucking saying? Yeah, we're all one. You know, we're all connected. We're all one divine being, and I'm actually starting to think I'm going crazy. Actually, I'm starting to worry for myself here. This does not sound like something I would see. This isn't who I was, and now I'm this. But we're all one divine being. We're all connected. We all share so much that we don't even realize because we're so fucking blind to it. Because we've got our heads up our own fucking asses that we don't take them out for a fucking moment to see how the fucking next door neighbour's doing. Or, you know, how your mate's doing. Or we're so wrapped up in our own goddamn fucking lives that we forgot to fucking poke our heads out for a bit and just say hello and take a breath and enjoy what the world has to offer. Slow the fuck down. Jesus, where did that rant come from? I don't know. I apologise. Actually, I don't apologise. Where did that rant come from? Where did that even come from? That came from meditation to me, then ranting. Zen. Anyway, so let's fucking check myself again. Yeah. Say hello to your neighbour. Text your mate. Oh, fucking hell, where am I? Meditation. I encourage you to try it. Give it a go. Let me know. Wait for it. In the comments. Let me know in the comments when you start your meditation, how it's going for you, what sensations you have, what feelings you have, what reflections you have. Let me know. It'll be interesting to see if you'll share this. Let me know if you have the old expanding thing as well. That'd be interesting to know that I'm not alone in that one. So meditation. Do meditation. And finish off with my ADHD. My ADHD. My adhd. Yeah, it's fucking great, mate. Fucking love it. I love having the old adhd, the ADHD. It comes with its pros and cons, I suppose, at the moment. Like right now, I feel like I'm somewhat nailed on with my medication. Like I think I have the dosage right. I don't know if I press record. Fucking hell. Oh, I have. Jesus. All right, guys, I have pressed record. Oh my lord, my heart fell into my fucking ass there. Woo. That's funny, ironic, isn't it? Talking about ADHD, and I thought, motherfucker, I was like, and my brain was like, have you pressed record? And I was like, I don't fucking know if I pressed record. I should go check. We press record. We're all good. What was I even saying? For fuck's sake. Yeah, I think I've got the medication dialed in. I feel like I'm on the right path with that. I still have my days, you know, where, yeah, they're down, or up and downs, you know, with the meds. Or then you just question, is it the meds? Is it not the meds? It's interesting though, because I see a lot of people talk about hunger and, you know, or they don't eat. I eat quite a lot when I'm on it. I don't forget to eat because I get hungry. A lot of people say they don't get hungry or they forget to eat, and I don't understand that because that's never happened to me. I'm always like, I need to eat. I'm starving. You know, I don't really find it hard to go to sleep. There's not many negatives for it that I see around online. To me, it's all, I focus better, I sleep better, I'm more motivated, and you know, I'm going to the gym now, which I never thought I'd end up back in the gym. Go back to the gym. I'm doing my podcast and all the other bits that go with that. My connections with people are better. My relationships are better. That might be down to the sobriety as well, but there's no, the only sort of negative I've had with the meds is, yeah, some days it's maybe a bit too much. And it makes me go a bit like fucking just overstimulated, and sometimes it's not enough, and I feel like I should do more. That's probably the only thing. See, it's all working in real time in my head here. That's probably the main thing for me, is that I find that I put too much pressure on the medication to determine whether how my day's going to be. For example, if I'm going to have a big long day, like like a party or going out in the evening, or a wedding or blah blah blah, then I'm like, oh, should I take 50 or should I take 40? And because, I don't want it to run out, and I don't want to like crash, and I don't want to, be boring and get tired, and, blah, blah, blah. And some days I'm like, should I take 30 today because I don't really want to do much, but what, 30 is not enough? And what if I get a bit like agitated and irritable? Then, so I need to remember that my day and myself is based on me, or how I want it to be, not how much medication I take. Yes, there's a certain amount of medication is better for certain parts of my day or week, to optimize what it is I want to do. But as a whole, I determine and I decide how my day is going to be. I decide how I react to a situation. I decide how much energy I give to a certain event or scenario or interaction. Do you know what I mean? So that's probably one thing I need to master or get better at. And I don't know if anyone else is the same with their ADHD medication. If they put too much pressure on themselves, or the put too much pressure on the medication for themselves to have the day they wish to have. That's pretty only downfall really with the ADHD medication. But as an ADHD as a whole, yeah, I mean, I get people call it a superpower and stuff, and I can understand why people would say that, and maybe to put a positive spin on it. But it also, yeah, it does have its pros. I suppose it makes you focus, but it also has its negative side effects. Like I got emotional the other day because I came off my meds for a couple of days just because I felt like I needed a break, and I couldn't function really. I was so fucking tired and not really motivated, and yeah, just down, and didn't want to do much, and I went back on my meds, and I felt back on, and I was geared, and I was ready, and I could focus again more, and I didn't have all that brain fog, and I was like, I don't understand how I managed to get through life up until now without a medication. Like, how the fuck did I do that? And then I started to get emotional because I was like, what? If I could have had this from the beginning, how much further would I be in life, and how much easier would life have been? And it is sad, and I have friends and other people message me, and they talk to me about the medication, and they say, oh, they've been diagnosed, should they go for the medication? And I'd suggest trying it. At least try it. You don't have to continue taking it. But I had one friend who said, I don't think I will, because I don't really think I need it because I've got this far. And I had the exact same thought. I was like, I've got this far, I don't really need it. And then now I said to them when they said that, I said, yeah, you don't think you need it right now, but once you have it, and then you realize how much easier life is, then you'll realize maybe I do need this. And that's kind of where I was with the ADHD medication. And I think we have to somewhat remember as well, it's not cool necessarily to have ADHD. It's not a quirk or a trend, or it's real, and it does come with real life struggles. And I think a lot of people forget that people who have ADHD they find it harder to do what most people would feel comes naturally to them. I mean, it's like trying to run a race with your shoes tied up. You will get there, but you'll get there fucking slowly. And I speak for my own self. I found it hard to hold down a job, or even sometimes relationships, and be on time for things and be organized. And I'm much better now with the organization, but that's because of one of the jobs I had, and I had to learn to be organized. And due to the shame you were given if you were late or unorganized, I had to find ways to make myself better in those areas, because I didn't want to keep getting shamed for how I was or who I was. And I think if people can understand that, not even with ADHD, just in general, that we're all different. Our makeups are all different. Our brains are wired differently. You know, we're not all the same. I know I said earlier, we're all one, as in like we're all one connected. You know, we're all connected, but we all have we all have different minds. You know what I mean? We deal with things differently due to our own environments, or we have different opinions, and we have different qualities, and you know, also different defects. And I think if we can lead with understanding and empathy in this world more than judgment and shame and ridicule, then I believe the world would be a better place than it is right now. Right now, there's too much hate, and there needs to be more love. Because right now, I'm looking around and I see everything that's going on, and I don't really want to get into it too much because I never really wanted this channel or any of my stuff to be political. But I'm just looking around at the world right now and what's going on, and the only way I can sort of explain how I feel about it or what I'm looking at is all I see is hate. And right now, all that's being decided is whose hate is more justified. And to me, that's wrong, because no one's winning if we're deciding on hate. So moving forward, maybe we should just be a bit more understanding, open our minds, open our hearts, and try and come together again. Because together we could do some great things for this world, for the people living in it. But right now we're being too selfish. People are being too selfish. You have people sitting on billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars. Who needs hundreds of billions of dollars? What are you going to do with all that money? How many bedrooms do you need in your house? These people that have got all this money in the world, they could end world hunger, yet they decide not to. And we're glorifying these people. We put them in magazines, and we put them, have posters of them, and some of these people are winning Nobel prizes, and you're thinking or humanitarian awards, and you're thinking, what's noble or humanitarian about not solving world hunger? Like, there shouldn't be anyone anymore suffering to put food on their tables or heat their homes or put a roof over their heads. We're the richest we've been ever, yet we're the poorest. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. And the fact that people are still happy to stick to the status quo and go along with this whole charade that's fucking life of we should go to work and work 9 to 5 and buy a house, which by the way isn't even your fucking house, because they'll just take that away whenever the fuck they want. It's not even your house, and yet you go on a couple of holidays a fucking year and get paid to shut up and just do as you're told and conform. And to me, it doesn't make any sense. There's more to life than that for everyone. I'm not saying we all have to be radical and fuck the system and all that, but question things a little bit, guys. There's more to life than what you think life is. Life should be enjoyed. We have one chance at this life, one fucking opportunity to enjoy it and live it how we want to live. And I, for one, don't want to spend it 40 years of my life in an office doing a job that I hate to earn money for someone who's sipping fucking champagne, eating caviar in Monaco on their yacht, whilst I'm fucking barely seeing my family and my kids and my wife, and I'm working myself into a burnout, into a depression, and fucking my mental health. For what? For a big fucking number in your paycheck at the end of the month? Nah, get the fuck. No, not for me. So wake up a little bit. I just want the best for everyone. I want everyone to realize that we can make the world a better place, and we should make the world a better place. There should be no more people dying for needless reasons or for reasons that could have been avoided. There shouldn't be any more. We should be solving the mental health crisis that is happening, that is getting worse day by day, week by week, year by year. We have the tools, we have the funds, we have the amenities to do that. But we'd rather chase our time investing money, running around mining fucking bitcoins and fucking, do you know what I mean? We are the people. We are stronger together. We are the many, not the few. Together we can make a change. We should make a change. I don't know where that all came from at the end there. I think it's just something that's sitting in me. It has been for a while. This episode's gone a little longer than I wanted it to, but I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. And I'll catch you again next time. But before I leave, I just want to say, if you haven't already, go and check out the podcast. It's available on Spotify, Apple, and also on YouTube. I think you'll like it. And lastly, remember to like the video and subscribe and share it. Let's spread this. It helps support the show, helps support me continue to do this. And hopefully in the future, I can fulfill what it is that I have in my mind. But I can only do that with help from you and everyone else. So be kind, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. And remember, be good to yourself.